I thought it couldn't get worse for the Dungeons and Dragons brand until I saw the media shilling for this. Dimension 20 has a Dungeons and Drag Queens show. Oh my gosh. You could see their little promo image here, how cringe it is. They released a new trailer and the media is gushing over it. I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, the media wants to push this agenda so hard that I think they'll just kill their own brands, which, I'll watch it burn. It's very, very funny to see here. We'll get into this in just a moment. Smash that like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in science fiction and fantasy gaming. Dungeons and Dragons is important to me, and it always has been growing up, my friends. This is a absolute travesty, and I can't believe it's this is a second season they're promoting, believe it or not. But we are going to be taking the culture back. That's what we're doing here, and I'm glad to have you as part of our community. Thank you, everybody, for making us 50,000 strong on the channel. And I am a fantasy author myself. I write a wonderful series called The Adventures of Baron von Monocle. This is about an airship crew who goes out and quests and fights monsters. Very simple stuff, and it's got real heroism. It's got none of the degeneracy in it. It is perfect for all ages. I had a wonderful, acquaintance from high school come and message me the other day, who I hadn't talked to in years, say, hey, I bought this book for my son. He loves it. Thank you so much for writing good fantasy that's clean. And I was like, oh, cool. That is warms my heart right before Christmas. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody who reads. This is a 6-book series. And it picks up, guys. Like, it really just ramps into something epic. So grab it today. It's in the description below. An ebook, print, and audio for all of your needs. And thank you so much for supporting us this year. We actually had one of our best days ever yesterday. So appreciate readers like you. Okay, so Dungeons & Dragons, if you've not been following along and you've not seen all the controversy this last year and just the destruction of the fantasy game brand by Wizards of the Coast, I'll give you a little overview real quick as to just how bad it is. Wizards of the Coast already made it into a woke train wreck this year. Controversies escalated with the 2024 edition of Dungeons & Dragons, signaling the game is now an outlet for extreme leftist propaganda and sexual fetish roleplay. The 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide has infamously incorporated the BDSM fetish community practices for the game, which I wrote up in an article before. And they have players make an X with their arms if they feel triggered by a situation requiring a DM to stop the game and address the player in question. Now, the reason they're talking about this is they're thinking that fantasy players in a game are not going to be playing like questing adventures like slaying goblins and the like, which is probably racist. But instead that like you're going to be like romancing NPCs and like maybe the DM will get too spicy with you or something like that. It's literally about appealing to the most degenerate people out there, and that's what they're worried about. That's what they're thinking about. I just would never be in a game like that to begin with. Oh my gosh, how creepy would that be? And, oh my gosh. Then the player's handbook is filled with imagery of BIPOC and female characters at a margin of more than 5-1 against white male characters. They're trying to replace white males in the hobby. Even though white males do make up probably 80-90% of the hobby, they really have this like fetish, and this is a fetish too, that it will be something different, that they can replace their players. This is about the direct opposite of the demographics who play the game, as I already mentioned. And naturally, we had this earlier this year, the Mexican orcs. They've tried to humanize orcs because they didn't like, and then they thought that orcs represented black people in Tolkien, and they were triggered by that. So now they've turned them into Mexicans. I don't know how that's better, but orcs are now a thing. Absolutely crazy. The game came under further scrutiny when it was revealed senior designer Jason Tondreau penned a foreword to the history on Dungeons & Dragons, which is pictured here, the making of the original Dungeons & Dragons, where he called the original founder of the game, Gary Gygax, misogynistic. And he accused the guy of cultural appropriation and promoting slavery. It was really ridiculous. The situation went viral thanks to Elon Musk, many fans voicing their disdain for the direction of the modern D&D game. So this is where we're at these days, and so the mainstream media thinks it's a good idea to do this. Now, I actually watched this trailer, and it was the cringiest thing. It's dudes making gay voices going, oh my God, wow, like, and wearing this type of stuff. It's crazy. Talking about their role-playing, and oh my gosh, they're role-playing and role-playing. It's pretty meta, I guess. It literally starts out with the hosts going, say hi, questing queens. I don't know who wants to see this type of thing, but like, it's super cringe. And this is, again, what the mainstream media is promoting. Doesn't have a lot of views, despite Collider doing an article about it and the like. It seems like this is 3 days with less than 1,000 views. They've got almost 1 million subscribers on Dimension 20. Nobody wants this, clearly. This video will probably be the best exposure it gets, all because of this sort of thing. But the mainstream media is definitely pushing this very, very hard. It's described as having several mentally ill men dressed as women involved in it, from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8 winner, Bob the Drag Queen, oh boy, as a tiefling sorcerer, Gertrude, oh boy. If you're playing a tiefling, it's a problem by itself. No offense, tiefling players. RuPaul's Drag Race stars Season 2 Alaska Thunder F, as they seriously call themselves these creepy men, as a orc barbarian princess. Oh my gosh. RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 4 winner Monet X Change, as Mer Fighter, of course a Mer as well, Troyan, and RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars as Season 5 Jujubee as Fairy Ranger. Oh geez, Twyla. This is terrible. And of course, Brendan Lee Mulligan from Dimension 20 will be the Dungeon Master, leading the questing queens as they face enemies and challenges more deadly than ever before. So I noticed this because it's getting promoted by Polygon, and this is supposed to be like a gaming what? And they were pushing this, and the guy actually, this is how bad the writing is at this point. I always tell writers, because I'm on Fandom Pulse right here, and this is my news website, also in the description below. Go sign up for that if you've not, because we talk about a lot of different stuff. You've seen all those great D&D articles right there. But this article was so poorly written, and I always tell people who try to submit for our website, don't write about you. Don't put I, blah, 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 blah. That's not a news article. And this whole article is filled with this. You could tell the guy, I loved the first season, as he's shilling for the article on Polygon. This is the level of crappy gaming journalism that's out there at this point. It's just pure shilling. These people are pushing agenda so hard. And I don't think they understand that, this is going to hurt Dungeons & Dragons more than it's going to help it. When Dungeons & Dragons is already under fire for all the woke content above, when you go out there and you say this is a game for drag queens now, you're going to turn off more players than you're going to actually get watching this. As you can see, they're not even getting good views or any views on it whatsoever. I was going to look at the comments, but there's two: excited and then awful. not very much to content mine right there. Gosh, it would have been nice to pull that up before I actually did the video, right? Then I would have known better. Oh well. We'll fix it in edit, my friends. That's the running joke on here. But the media shilling for this stuff and trying to push this absolutely is going to turn more players away from the game. Players are going to go, this is not the place for me. Yeah, you want the drag queens in this space? Fine, you can have it. I'm going to go play something else. And there's a lot of other games out there. If you like tabletop role-playing, there are lots of alternatives. I like to promote Acks, ACKS, as a fantasy system. Really, really good stuff by a great designer. Definitely go look that up if you've not already. And there's lots of others. If you have one you like, please leave a comment in the description below as well. But you can see how hard they're shilling this, with this sort of deal. And like I said, this Polygon writer, it was all about him. I'm assuming it's a him, who's, I guess, into this fetish stuff, sick stuff. Season 2 is coming, says no they didn't. Dungeons & Drag Queens Flamboyant Fall at Broadway Performance Hall in Seattle. Oh, joy. Ever out. My mother was a drag monster for nerds. And then Variety even covered this last year. Dropouts Brendan Lee Mulligan on Dimension 20 selling out Madison Square Garden. This is Emmy eligibility and Dungeons & Dragons Queen Season 2. Now, this was not the reason they sold out Madison Square Garden. They have a giant YouTube channel with a lot of people and a huge following, and they actually get slightly more views than this channel is over a 30-day period, which, wow, I can't believe I'm at 50,000. They're at 1 million, and I'm doing as much as them. That says a lot. And as much as they try to promote it at the top of their banner and everything else, that's not what's getting them views. They have other stuff getting them views, which is leading to this sort of thing. You go to popular, and of course, this is not it. Fantasy, Dimension 20 Fantasy High. This is what's getting their attention and has the views, not the drag queen stuff. Nobody wants this. Nobody asked for it, and yet the media really wants it so hard to be a thing. Oh my gosh, you could just see how fake and gay it is. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for being here. Read Fandom Pulse. This is your real news outlet. I appreciate you for being here. And do read Great Fantasy 2, a 6-book series, guys. It's in the description below. Start your journey today. A fun adventure. Really appreciate you all for reading. You're amazing, and we'll be back soon.